Come on, you know you want to. So I have this friend, Blue Mamba, on YouTube, and he's kind of the world's expert on Darth Vader hilts. I don't know if that's true, but he has a lot of them. So he can tell you the difference between one that was created for Revenge of the Sith and not seen on film versus one created for Return of the Jedi, a DV6 if I'm not mistaken, the name of that version of the hilt. But yeah, so Blue Mamba for the longest time has kind of been known as the Ask Me About My Vader hilt guy, and he made this shirt and put it on his merch store, which goes so well with this video, so thank you, Blue Mamba. But yeah, so let's talk about this hilt. So I had, this was on my son's Christmas list, was a Darth Vader lightsaber hilt, and it was the top thing on his list. So anyway, had this custom installed by a friend, and then I created this box to go with it too. And then I even made a little video to it with like an Imperial March, Carol of the Bells kind of thing. So I'll throw some quick footage of that in here. But you can see the hilt. I'll go ahead and pop this guy open. This is the SSMp from One Replicas. SS for Super Stunt. Such a cool lightsaber hilt. I just love its form factor. I love how thin it is, how easy it is to hold. A lot of times Darth Vader hilts have really large control boxes on them, and this emitter part up here sticks out pretty far, and it doesn't give you a great like choke point, or this control box kind of gets in the way, and the T-grips can be really uncomfortable to hold. But anyway, yeah, Darth Vader lightsabers, they look cool, but in my opinion, most of them probably aren't that comfortable to hang on to. Now this is super sleek. It's got this, I don't even want to call it a control box because it's so low profile. There is still a screw that holds in this card, so I guess technically it's still kind of like a clamp card, but you know, it's clamping down on that card. It's not exactly a clamp card, but anyway, nice and thin and small, easy to hold, easy to spin. It just seemed like the right choice for my son. Also, the price was pretty good on it too. So this is from One Replicas on Etsy. I don't know if there's any more of them left. Last I looked, he had some Obi-Wan, and he had some Graflex, and maybe Qui-Gon? I don't remember, but yeah, he makes different runs of these lightsabers for different characters, and they're all very sleek like this. But I want to show you some stuff up close, and it's a little hard to get it on camera, so why don't I go ahead and switch cameras to this one on my desk here and show you a couple things up close. So move this chassis out of the way here. So like I said, there is a retention screw going in on this card right here, and I'll go ahead and remove that real quick and show you what's going on underneath. So there's 3 different places for buttons. Top here, below here, and there's also this button up here by the emitter. And so any of them can be used for buttons. I'm not using this one, but I am using these, and this has some plungers underneath. So right here and right here are some 3D printed plunger, I guess just plungers. I was going to call them plunger switches, but that's really not true because that's our switches there. So I'll roll this upside down, and those will fall into my hand. So you can see those are the little plungers, and that are just holes down into the chassis. And then I'll take off this pommel cap, and I'll show you that this is just one long tube, nothing going up and down on this. It's all just round on the inside and narrow and flat. And anyway, this isn't multiple pieces. This is all just one piece together. And so anyway, like I said, you can use this here for switches, or you could use this up here. And then, let's see, I took off the pommel cap. And then the only other thing to note on here is this screw, which looks a lot like a thumb screw up by the emitter here, like a retention screw. And it is a retention screw, but it's not what you think it is. So like I said, it looks like a thumb screw, but if I undo this, you'll see that the thumb part of the thumb screw is actually a cap. So that comes off, and it leaves a very small retention screw right here. M6. Yeah, there we go. So that is our retention screw. So you would put your blade in, put the retention screw down once you got it you know, tight where you want it, and then you would go put this cap down on top of that retention screw. That cap also holds this part here by the emitter, which works. I don't love it. I don't hate it. It's a little goofy how that gets loose when you take off that thumb cap part that's holding it down, but I think it's a unique system. Works pretty well. And then right here, there's also a hole going into the center where you could put a retention screw for chassis retention, which I actually don't need, but it's super, super tiny. I think I found out that it's a M3 retention screw that we need for that. And at Ace Hardware, the smallest retention screw they had in metric was an M4. So anyway, very, very small. I could only find it like online in bulk if I bought like a whole box of them. But anyway, I don't need it because I have a little piece that works here. So this is the chassis, which was installed by a friend, Cole Weathers. In fact, let me just switch cameras. Cole, you are the man. Like, if you've been in this lightsaber community for even a little while, you've probably heard the name Cole Weathers. He does some fan art for different people in the community. I've happened to have been included in one or two of them. I feel so privileged to be a part of that fan art that you've done. But the group that I hang out with, everyone knows Cole, and he's just like the sweetheart of the lightsaber community. Hangs out with everyone on the YouTube lives and participates in the comments, and is even getting into installing now. He's installed probably 100 sabers for himself, and he's starting to install some for some friends too. So anyway, Cole, you are a gem. You're an amazing man. Appreciate everything you do. But that was just my little shout out to Cole. But anyway, so let's get into this install here. So this chassis is from, let's see, Mab Sabers. You can see that right on there. So that's from the Etsy store. So Cole got this from the Etsy store. A 3D printed chassis designed just for this lightsaber hilt. Installed this with a Profi 2.2. We got a couple switches here. We have our Smuggler's Outpost 24 millimeter speaker. This is a very narrow chassis, so you're not getting a 28 millimeter in here. It needed to go down to a 24. And then Cole spared no expense, and he got himself some of the, what is this, the stock V3 NeoPixel connector, which is a lit pixel connector, which is awesome. But so anyway, we'll go ahead and throw this in the saber, and I guess really the only trick is to make sure is you got those buttons lined up straight up and down. And let's see, I can try to do this while looking at the camera. This ought to be good. There's one switch. So it also came with this little 3D printed spacer ring, which we'll put down at the bottom here. And this helps you push the chassis in without touching the speaker. And then the pommel cap will push it the rest of the way. But let's just go ahead and make sure we get those buttons lined up good. Okay, so if we look down in there, you can see we have our buttons down under the holes in the hilt, and we'll place our plungers on there. Slide in our card. And we'll tighten this screw here. Alright, so that fits good. Alright, and my little spacer fell out. Put the cap back on. Okay, so now we'll go ahead and put the blade in. I guess I'll just show you real quick. See, we got the lit pixel connector there. So Cole put some gesture controls on there. We got the switch for on and then twist for off. That 24mm Smuggler's Outpost actually sounds really good. I'm very happy with it. It's my first Smuggler's Outpost speaker. And I was afraid that, you know, being 24mm just wasn't going to be what I expected, but it turned out way better than I expected. But okay, let's go ahead and throw that blade in. Tighten that, and throw the cap back on it. And there we go. We got our installed Darth Vader hilt with a blade on it. So this is just a 28-inch blade off of an LGT. Does the trick. Playing Father V2. I think this is the Rogue One version of it. But lots of Darth Vader sound fonts on here. Pretty much everything Sith. I won't go through all the sound fonts, but yeah, a lot of Sith fonts on here. My son also really likes Tusken Terminator and is it F1 Racer? The Pod Racer one that Kyberphonic does. That's his favorite sound font. So, but anyway, so One Replicas, thank you for doing what you do. You do such a great job with these. I really love this hilt. I actually have the Obi-Wan Episode 1 hilt on its way right now. It should be here this week, so totally excited for that. One more shout out to Cole. Thank you for installing this. And yeah, my son just absolutely loves it, thinks it's the coolest thing in the world. And you know what, real quick story. So on Thanksgiving, or I should say on Black Friday, I purchased a Saber Trio and I made a video of me buying it. And anyway, on Black Friday, I'm sitting here editing the video that morning, and my son comes and stands right here. He's watching me work, and he's like, "Dad, when can I get a cool lightsaber like yours?" And you know what he's referring to is, you know, a NeoPixel lightsaber. And I was like, "Kid, you don't even know," because like I was buying my first non-LGT hilt at that moment, and his was sitting in a box like inches in front of him, like literally right here in front of him on my desk. So I was like, "Kid, you don't even know. Just calm down someday." And of course, you know, I made him wait until Christmas to open it. But when he opened it, it was just so cool. He was speechless. He just went like, yeah, so excited. But anyway, amazing hilt. Highly recommend this. I think for Darth Vader hilts, you know, obviously this is not the most accurate, being that it's a Super Stunt saber. But being that it's a Super Stunt saber, I think it's probably one of the best Darth Vader hilts because it's comfortable. You can spin it, you can have fun with it, and it doesn't cost $1 million. So anyway, you know, I'm not really one to like score stuff like 10 out of 10, 8 out of 10, or, you know, even score at all. But I do really like this. I do highly recommend it. If you are looking to get a Darth Vader hilt that is inspired, you know, looking, not 100% accurate, then this is the route to go. So yeah, absolutely love it. I should say my son absolutely loves it. That's what's important. So hey, thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe and click the bell so that you know when I load more videos. I got more props to make. I got more lightsabers to review. And yeah, hey, may the Force be with you all, and I'll catch you in the next video.